Right, so we're back again, and this time we're going to be talking about why you need three singles, or ideally at least three singles when embarking on a release campaign. In the previous video, we talked about content and how important it is to focus on the music and not the content. And one of the bits of advice I gave was to stop doing social media and, produce a live show or learn an instrument or go to a gig. I took my own advice. I went to a gig. I went to see Blur. I saw them at Eastbourne. It was amazing. We won't dwell on it, but I did take my own advice, so take that advice as well. So in this video, the reason we're talking about this is what we're trying to do is create momentum as a new or emerging artist. And I think one of the pitfalls that we have is we write something, we finish it, and we're like, I've got to release it. And we put it out there, and then we kind of do all of that work, and then there's just silence for like 6 months or 12 months or whatever. And the problem with doing that is that we're trying to win fans and we're trying to take them on a journey with us. And if we're only releasing every 6 to 12 months, we're just going to get lost in the noise of everyone else who's releasing music, and we're quickly forgotten. As you know, the music industry is very saturated and attention spans are short. So therefore, we need to really understand that human nature and how human nature works. And in a way, we are trying to trigger the human algorithm and to make them into our superfans. So we'd definitely suggest never starting with an album. And what we would say is three singles. And we'd say three singles every 4 to 6 weeks. 6 weeks probably a bit easier in terms of your time with promoting and everything else you need to do for a release. And then the advantage of doing that is that you release that single, you get some fans interested, the next single comes, those fans sort of go to the next one, taken along the journey, and then hopefully by the third single you've sort of accumulated a group of fans, and now some of those fans are becoming super fans. The danger of, as I said earlier, if you do it every 6 months, every 12 months, those fans you got on that first single might have forgotten you, might have found someone else they're interested in. And by the time you got to the third single, they're no longer listening to you, which is a real waste of your music and a real waste of all that effort that you put in earlier. So I guess really the way to think about it is, if you think about your closest relationships with friends and family, those relationships weren't built on you speaking to them once every 6 months, once every 12 months. And really, if you want to engage with fans and build a meaningful relationship with your fans, it's the same principle. If you speak to them every 6 months, every 12 months, or even longer, that relationship isn't going to grow, it isn't going to blossom, and your career is going to, I guess in a way, stutter and not get the momentum that you need. So when you're preparing those singles, think of it like a relationship with a close friend. You're like, okay, I'm interacting with these people, I need to engage with them, I need to get to know them, they need to get to know me, and the best way to do that is obviously your music, and therefore you need to be releasing regularly. And I'd just like to go also actually going back to a point I made earlier. The reason we say don't release an album is because you're effectively taking 10 or 12 songs, you're putting them all out at once, and you can only really effectively promote one song at a time. So for example, with Spotify for artists, you can only pitch one song at a time to their editorial playlists. So we would recommend, if you've got 12 tracks, brilliant, break it down into some singles, and once you've got some momentum and you've got that thing going, then maybe consider releasing an album. So there you go, that's three singles. Go and check out some of the other videos where we talk about content, branding, your story, the objective, and all of those things. Like and subscribe, and check us out. Next video is going to be looking at why getting a good mix and a master is really crucial to your music.